Okay, Trina, this is the message. Okay. This is my third attempt to start this message, this recording. You know, there was a last-minute change after yesterday's events. It would have been Wednesday's events, I guess. What I thought was going to be the message wasn't. Things change around us, don't they? And in all of these changes and all of these events that have just transpired in the last day or two, coupled with an unprecedented, and I'm starting to really not like that word, an unprecedented year with a pandemic, etc., etc. For me, sometimes it's difficult to know that God is greater than this experience. And I am one of the fortunate ones. I'm not trying to feed children. I'm not trying to hold a job at home and educate children. I'm not without a job. I'm one of the fortunate ones. And I know how tired I feel some days. And I really don't remember that God is greater than the experience that we're having in these moments. And I've lived a little time on this planet. My experience tells me that God is greater. It's not always easy to see. Sometimes it's not even possible to see in a given moment. But God expressing through me, God expressing as you, is greater than any condition. And you know, we can get into all those conversations about things being illusions and we're creating this, and I'm not dismissing those. But I don't know about you, but in this moment, this doesn't feel like an illusion to me. I think that hindsight, I think that looking back on this, I'll see the gifts in all of this. I will cherish the moments of learning how to do things differently and watching the progress we've made in this difficult time. But I just got to tell you, I have a hard time getting back to that place because I forget that God is greater than, and you fill in the blank. Greater than fear, greater than chaos, greater than anger, just greater. You know, in conversation with a friend, she said, well, my first reaction was fear. Well, I'm going to be very authentic. My first reaction was anger. I was mad at what was happening in the capital of the United States of America. I honestly can tell you that I don't know that I had a real direct connect and wanted to blame anybody specific initially in that moment. I was just angry that our democracy could be seen by our children and by people in the world in this light. I was angry. How about you? What was your emotion? What was your sense? What was your feeling? Be with it. Allow it. You know, in New Thought, we kind of want to smear it over sometimes with all this positive stuff. Be with it. It may not be a fun feeling. It may not be one that you want to tout or brag about. I know saying that I went to anger immediately is not something that I guess I should be broadcasting as a minister or as your minister, but you know what? That is what it was for me. What was yours? And this is the phrase I want you to hold on to. God is greater than whatever that experience was, whatever that feeling was it fear, was it anger, was it sadness? What was it? God is greater than that. And you've got proof. You've lived long enough to see it come around. You've lived long enough to know that God expressing through you is greater than what you are experiencing in any given moment. And the interesting thing about that in our New Thought teachings is that God is in that moment and is greater than that moment. You know, the dark places, the shadows are hard to look at. It's hard for us to see this, but they would not be visible if there wasn't light present, because you have no contrast. You wouldn't even know you were in the dark. You wouldn't know that it was dark if somehow, somewhere, there wasn't a source of light. I had a fire in my house many years ago in my meditation room. It was all on me. That happened. I left a candle and, and so on and so forth. The fire was self-contained, which the insurance gentleman said, you know what, this is a miracle. I said, I want that on the insurance paper. But the room had gotten so hot and had burned so badly that when I opened the door to the room, it was scary to take a step. It was like an abyss. It was so dark, I couldn't see the darkness. It was so absent of light. But as soon as I cracked that door open and just the tiniest bit of light came through, I could see the darkness. The light is really always there. And the darkness reminds us that the light is always there, because we couldn't see the darkness without it. There is only one presence, one power, active as the universe and as my life. That is God the good. Doesn't take a day off. Never doesn't pick up the phone. God is ever present. God is greater than. You know, the time of being in opposition and picking sides and having an opinion and posting things that are as fiery and as angry as anything that we've seen to date. Because those words, and we're going to talk about this next week, those words carry power. The time for opposition has passed. It is time now to step into and align with that one presence and that one power. Now, it may sound like I am talking to those folks that were scaling the Capitol wall. Those aren't the folks I'm talking to, because I venture to guess they don't probably frequent this YouTube channel. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. It is time to step up to a higher level of consciousness around this and have a deeper connection to the oneness that we so strongly believe in. It's time. This is on us to be that now. And when it seems like we have lost our way and we cannot find our way back to that consciousness that God is greater than, and that I am the expression of God, when we find it difficult, and I say we, I mean me, when it is difficult to remember that, I would like to share the wisdom of one of my favorite doctors. And I strongly suggest that you consult this doctor if you get to that point that you can't remember that God is greater than this. And that is Dr. Seuss. In his 5 lessons in life, his 5th lesson is this: Today I shall behave as if this is the day I will be remembered for. That'll help you remember. That'll help move you back to recognizing that whatever we are experiencing in a given moment, and whatever our perception of that experience is in any given moment, God is greater than, fill in the blank. God is greater than. And our work is to remember, just to remember that truth. And we have tools, folks. We've got what we need to implement a consciousness of God is greater than. We have prayer. This is the conversation that we have with the God expression that we connect to. Prayer. And it can be while you're washing the dishes, or as Edwin Gaines says, it can be when you're taking out the kitty litter. Prayer. To pray without ceasing. Grandma Main would say, open the day with good morning, God, and close the day with amen. Prayer. There is power in that tool. And the time. Take the time to be thought-filled, to be mindful of your words, of your thoughts. And this we practice in meditation. It is through prayer and meditation, as we say in unity. And remember who we co-create with. The God consciousness is who we co-create with. That one presence, that one power, that God consciousness is who we are co-creating with. That makes you want to show up for work, doesn't it? The work of co-creating in your life. I get to co-create with God, my God expression. Those are tools and those are gifts. And they are available to us all the time. No shipping. You just open yourself to the presence and the power of prayer. You sit quiet and with the stillness and allow yourself to be mindful. And you remember that you are a co-creator with God. And God is greater than. This is a win-win, folks. And Catherine Ponder remembers us, reminds us when she says, nothing but good can come into our lives, for God is in charge. God is in charge. God is greater than. My friends, I invite you into this thought that you might find solace and peace and understanding, that you might be able to move back to a place in your prayer time with your stillness of meditation, whatever that looks like. And remembering that you are a co-creator, that all is well. God is greater than. Thank you. Namaste. And we will now enjoy the music of Ryan Bider with an original song written by Ryan Bider, All is Well. Namaste, my friends.